By 0900 hours, my street looked less like a cul-de-sac and more like a forward operating base. Olive drab Humvees blocked the entrances to Sunspane. Soldiers in crisp uniforms were stapling federal property notices onto lampposts. At the center of the chaos stood Patricia Manderly, president of the Coyote Vista HOA, screaming at a lieutenant like she was at a customer service desk. "You cannot evict an entire street," she shrieked. "This is a private community. We have bylaws." The lieutenant didn't even look up from his clipboard. "Ma'am, this street was never yours to sell. And neither was the ranch you liquidated while Staff Sergeant Parker was in a combat zone." I stepped out of my truck, still in dusty multicam, duffel slung over my shoulder. 48 hours ago, I was in a tent halfway across the world. Now, I was home just in time to watch the U.S. Army steamroll the woman who stole my life.
"Hey Patricia," I called out. "Miss me?"
I didn't live in the beige suburbia of Coyote Vista. I lived on Parker Ranch, 5 acres of agricultural land I bought with re-enlistment money. One long driveway, some cattle, and a big Texas flag that annoyed exactly the kind of people I liked annoying. Then came Patricia. She wasn't just a Karen, she was the final boss. She wore a whistle on a lanyard and treated the HOA bylaws like scripture. "That trailer is visible from the common area," she'd bark across my fence. "Not part of your HOA, Patricia," I'd reply.
"County rules."
It made her eyelid twitch. When I deployed for 9 months, I thought the ranch was safe. I gave power of attorney to my cousin, Dean. But Patricia saw an opportunity, a man who was gone, a big piece of land, and a signature block that wasn't there to defend itself. While I was running patrols in the sand, Patricia was busy with a printer and a notary stamp. She started with fines. Thousands of dollars for unsightly tractor presence and non-compliant livestock. When my cousin Dean showed the county clerk the fines, the clerk literally laughed. "They can't fine him. He's not in the HOA." But Patricia didn't care about can't. She held a secret board meeting and produced a forged annexation document. It had a scrolled signature that vaguely resembled mine, notarized 2 months after I'd already deployed. She annexed my land, placed a lien on it, and sold it to a young couple from Austin as an HOA-controlled estate sale. She pocketed the money for landscaping enhancements. She thought I was just a soldier who would be too tired to fight back. She forgot one thing: the Army handles its own. Back at Fort Musket, a JAG officer named Captain Rivera noticed my housing allowance didn't match the county records. "This guy is downrange, and his property just got sold by an HOA?" Rivera didn't just call a lawyer, he called the CID and the U.S. Attorney. They realized Patricia hadn't just committed a neighborhood oopsie, she'd violated the Service Members Civil Relief Act. That's a federal felony. While I was still overseas, the Army was building a case that would terminate Coyote Vista. The Army had wanted that land for a training buffer for years, and Patricia had been the one blocking them. Now, the Army had a reason to move the perimeter fence. Right through Patricia's kitchen. The day of United States versus Coyote Vista HOA was a nuclear strike. I sat behind the prosecution in full dress uniform. Patricia arrived in a blazer ironed by pure rage. "Miss Manderly," the judge said, peering over her glasses. "Are you suggesting this signature, dated while Staff Sergeant Parker was 7,000 miles away in a war zone, is authentic?"
Patricia stammered.
I trusted our records." The notary cracked next, admitting Patricia forced him to stamp it.
Then I stood up.
"Ma'am," I told the judge, "I've spent 12 years in the Army. I accept the job. What I don't accept is someone back home selling the ground out from under me because my barn didn't match their beige paint swatches." It landed like artillery. The ruling was total. My ranch was returned. The HOA was dissolved, ordered into receivership. The Army moved in and bought out the entire street under eminent domain to create their buffer zone. Neighbors were packing moving trucks while the forward operating base watched.
Patricia?
She was sentenced to 18 months in federal prison for mail fraud, wire fraud, and SCRA violations. She was ordered to pay $247,000 in restitution. "But Your Honor," she whimpered as the cuffs clicked. "I was just trying to maintain community standards." The judge didn't even look up. "Community standards do not include felonies, Miss Manderly."
Patricia collapsed.
For the first time, she had absolutely nothing to say. "I'm back on my ranch now. The cows are staring at the new Army fence, the flag is flying high, and the only standards I have to follow are the ones I set myself.